Kylian Mbappé, Vinícius Jr, and Jude Bellingham with his incredible assist came to the party and dismantled, Real Sociedad in a devastating manner. If you have players like Vinícius Jr in your team, if you have players like Jude Bellingham, one of the best midfielders in the game, which was evident in the World Cup, and Kylian Mbappé, whom on an average season is going to get you more than 40 goals a season, then you cannot match them when it comes to the output in terms of their quality. Their main rivals, Barcelona, dismantled Elche by 5-0. So it seems like the competition is tough now, because Barcelona had put 5 past Elche, but Madrid has put 4 past Real Sociedad now. So it's going to be a difficult season for either side. But at the end of the day, do you think that Madrid has what it takes, to topple Barcelona, or Barcelona has what it takes to maintain their season statistics again? And also, 13 years on from his last win at the Santiago Bernabéu, José Mourinho has led Real Madrid to another statement and an emphatic win over Real Sociedad, a match where everybody thought that it was going to be difficult for them to break down a well-drilled Sociedad side. But at the end of the day, Kylian Mbappé, Vinícius Jr, and Jude Bellingham with his incredible assist came to the party and dismantled, Real Sociedad in a devastating manner. Comparably, if you compare the performance today against Real Sociedad against Espanyol, you see that there's a stark difference tactically and technically. In the first match against Espanyol, it looked as if Madrid were tepid. It looked as if Madrid were, not out of their first gear. But in the match against Real Sociedad, in their 4-2-3-1 system, where Adagula was an outlet, Jude Bellingham running the show as a boss-to-boss midfielder, and Kylian Mbappé on the day banging a hat-trick. I think it was just a perfect performance from the entire Real Madrid squad. But kudos to Kylian Mbappé, because we look at the first match where he had a lot of slack, where he had a lot of criticism from pundits and fans alike, because people thought that he wasn't pulling his weight, he wasn't, doing the extra work for them, because if he doesn't get the goals there, it means that his performances or his addition to the team is a bit negligible. But also, you look at Vinícius Jr and the fact that he came under a lot of criticism, particularly, people criticizing the fact that he's put on or added a bit of weight to his stature. But I don't think that Vinícius Jr is overweight, because if Vinícius Jr were to have been overweight, there's absolutely no chance that he would have been starting for a disciplinarian like José Mourinho. But the most important thing is the fact that the players are getting the concept, they are buying into the idea of how José Mourinho wants to play. Because if you really want to be successful playing under José Mourinho, you would have to play his way or the highway. And José Mourinho is not going to take any prisoners. You hit to his instructions, you hit to his tactical acumen, you hit to what he has instructed you to do. And exactly that what was done by the players today. And you look at the entirety of the Madrid squad and the way they played for minute 1, even when they were pegged back by Real Sociedad, they still had a confidence, they still had a mojo, they still had a belief that they had what it takes to go out there and then get the win. And that's exactly what they did in the second half, because if you look at the variations that Mourinho did do, because he kept practically the same first 11 as in the match against Espanyol, and they went out there and delivered. But there are a bit of problems here and there in the Madrid squad, defensively, because unlike a typical Mourinho squad where chances are very, very limited to the opposition, it seems like oppositions have a couple of chances against this Madrid squad. And I can also say that because it's their second match, or because this is the first season where Mourinho wants to really stamp his authority defensively into the team, they are going to struggle a bit, because teams are going to have a lot of success against them. But the most important thing is the fact that they've got quality in their attacking third, to the extent that even if they concede goals, they are likely to outscore the opponent. And that is one characteristic that was synonymous with the Madrid squad in the early 2000s, where they defensively they were poor, especially when they saw Claude Makelele to Chelsea. But what they did have that time was the fact that they've got quality attackers where they were most practically going to outscore every single opponent dead. And that was what culminated in their winning the 2002 Champions League, because they practically outscored every single opponent in the 2002 season. And I can tell you for the fact that that's exactly what is going to happen this season, because they've got goals in Kylian Mbappé, they've got goals in Jude Bellingham, they've got goals in Vinicius Jr, they will probably get goals in Diomande, and then when Rodrigo comes back from injury, he's also going to chip in with a lot of goals. And don't forget the incredible shooting ability of Fede Valverde, because he's also going to chip in with goals. So I don't really have a problem defensively, but when you meet a tougher opposition and you are not likely going to be getting enough goals against them, and you concede quite a number of goals, it's going to be difficult for this Madrid side to outscore them. But we would have to get there for us to analyze and see whether they can outscore bigger oppositions like Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, like the way they are outscoring teams like Real Sociedad and Espanyol. But on the day, the most important thing is the fact that there was a stark difference between the performance in their first match against Espanyol and their second match at the Bernabéu against Real Sociedad, where they were more expansive, they were more attacking, where they handled the ball better, they understood, the tactical variations, and they understood the concept that Mourinho is trying to instill in them. And also from the angle of Sociedad, they were a bit compact from the first half, because they were compact, they were playing on the counter, they held the ball sometimes, and then they never had fear in them. But at the end of the day, it is the difference in quality, it is the difference in the depth of quality that Madrid has above them that did the trick. Because I can tell you for the fact that if you have players like Vinicius Jr in your team, if you have players like Jude Bellingham, one of the best midfielders in the game, which was evident in the World Cup, and Kylian Mbappé, whom on an average season is going to get you more than 40 goals a season, then you cannot match them when it comes to the output in terms of their quality. But the most important question is the fact that will Madrid, led by Jose Mourinho and fronted by Kylian Mbappé, Vinícius Jr, and Jude Bellingham, sustain this attack, sustain this momentum to the end of the season, or they are going to have glitches and breaches in and around the season? Because don't forget that their main rivals, Barcelona, dismantled Elche by 5-0. So it seems like the competition is tough now, because Barcelona had put 5 past Elche, but Madrid has put 4 past Real Sociedad now. So it's going to be a difficult season for either side. But at the end of the day, do you think that Madrid has what it takes, to topple Barcelona, or Barcelona has what it takes to maintain their season statistics again? An incredible scenario also, unfolded in the game where Marc Cucurella and Oyarzabal showed the World Cup that they won in the United States to the supporters and to the entire public. And to be sincere with you, one of the most difficult trophies, if not the most difficult trophies to win as a footballer, is the World Cup. Because don't forget, it comes every 4 years. So it was an incredible atmosphere out there for Marc Cucurella and Oyarzabal, because it is the pinnacle of every footballer's career to win the World Cup. And it is not everybody who's going to have the opportunity nor the privilege of lifting that trophy. So it's a beautiful scene out there. But at the end of the day, the reason for which they were all on the pitch was the fact that they wanted the 3 points from each other, and Marc Cucurella aided Real Madrid in getting all the 3 points. But back to my question again, do you think that Real Madrid has what it takes? Do you think that Mourinho, having been discarded by a lot of supporters, that he's lost his mojo, he's lost his confidence, he's lost his tactical acumen in the fact that we've got some young coaches coming up, can he, be successful in his second stage with Madrid? Because don't forget, he was coaching Benfica. He's been given the opportunity to coach Real Madrid again. Do you think that he's going to be successful? Because there's absolutely only one reason for which he's been brought back: to break the genes of Barcelona's dominance, and for Madrid to lift either the La Liga or go far in the Champions League. Those are the only reasons why he was brought in, and also to steady the ship, because we all realize the animosity and the toxic relationship in the dressing room against the coaches that had been there, Arbeloa and Xabi Alonso. And if you look at the difference in quality, or the difference even in stature between the previous coaches and Jose Mourinho, there's absolutely nobody in that Real Madrid dressing room who is not going to show respect and reverence to the achievements of Mourinho. So those are the reasons for which he's been brought in. And so far, so good. They are on the right tangent, they are on the right path. And I know very well that as a pundit, there are going to be hurdles, there are going to be difficult moments, but as experienced as Mourinho is, he has all the technical skills, he has the experience to, to maneuver all of that. So do you think that they've got a quality? Do you think that they've got the tactical acumen from their bench to sustain the kind of goals that they are scoring till the end of the season?